Yeah, here we go. I just want to make sure people know where we're at. The beautiful Harbour Bar, which is just an outrageous rebirth of the Harbour Bar. I just think it's one of my favourite places in the world, really. You know, if I was in London or New York or that, I'd be hanging out somewhere like this if I could. We're here with the beautiful Adam, and I would think, Adam, for you, this is like a second home, really. I'll give it a little pan around the room so people get to see this. You've run the Hardy Har Comedy Club here for how many years now?
It's over 5 years now that we've been going.
Wow.
It's, you know, started.
You have your dad, your manager's over here too.
It started off downstairs with the O'Toole's, and I remember I was looking for a place to kind of, you know, give new people a shot, get some stage time myself, kind of create like a little bit of a buzz that wasn't city centre, you know what I mean, something more local, and that would kind of, you know, give newer kind of acts a chance, give them a place to kind of express themselves and that. And the O'Toole's were all over it straight away, and they brought us in. We started off downstairs, and it was like, it was crazy, absolutely crazy. It wasn't pleasant sometimes, you know. It was really, really tough work, but it was really worth it because slowly we progressed from kind of a Wednesday or Thursday night idea to being, you know, Saturday nights downstairs on the main stage. And obviously it meant that the venue were investing a little bit in us. And then when there was the changeover, we took a small break just before there was the changeover of ownership. And then, you know, when Connor came in, like, he was straight on the phone to me and he says, look, I want to kind of recapture some of the stuff that was there. And he asked me, would I come down, would I be interested in looking at it again? And with his enthusiasm and with my enthusiasm for comedy and all, it just kicked off again. And very quickly, when the upstairs room became available, we both kind of felt, look, the comedy belongs upstairs, where we had now, rather than having the random chaos, we had return customers who were comedy savvy, who were kind of, you know, really invested in the nights and were, you know, investing their time in the nights. So we felt we kind of owed it to them to move it upstairs in a room that was standalone, where you could appreciate the comedy and where you could really have this small, intimate gig where, you know, we've had some magic moments. Like, you wouldn't get it anywhere else. Well,
I got to say now, I'm an incredibly witty and insightful and sophisticated person, and this would be my favourite night out, genuinely. I mean, I kind of love music, love whatever, you know, all these different kicks in life, but just as a night out, here's a free, you know, night, which I'd happily pay into, where you're going to get, you know, 5 comedians. And the great thing is that for a lot of them, they're trying out material, so they're willing to sort of, you know, give it a shot, to sort of try out a gag that they're going to see when they go into town. They go into another venue that there will be a charge in. They really have to have something honed down to 5 minutes. There's a kind of free form ability here to sort of try out things, and the idea that something's brand new and it's just for them too. It's the first time they've really got the reaction. Beautiful, beautiful experience. Like when you're in that sort of a room and there's just great laughter, like genuine, spontaneous laughter.
And that's one of the big kind of, you know, goals of any Hardy Har night. I love the idea that a group of people can walk into a room and with nothing more than the investment of their time and a microphone and obviously the talent that's there, you can change their mood. They can leave. It can be a room for 2 hours that's full of laughter, and they can go in there and nothing more than people's, you know, imagination and the journeys that they take you on, and you know, their wit can make you leave the venue feeling completely
you're doing a big service. You're making a lot of people in Bray forget where they live. So that's a really
well, I remind
that's
them
a wonderful.
That's 90% of the material.
We should say now, there's 2 reasons I'm talking to you. Obviously, it's a monthly gig here in the Hardy Har on a Thursday night. It's going to be next Thursday, which is the 10th. The 10th of, are we on the 10th of November?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, so and I'll just check now. I did write down. So, the 12th. There you go, the 12th. There we go. Working class heroes. You've got the great Aidan Killian, Tommy Nicholson, one of my favourite, Shane Hughes, Billy the Corsi, Joe Dowling, and yourself. Yes. That'll be next Thursday, the 12th, which I would recommend everybody and anybody to go and see. While I'm reading there, I just managed to scan down to your groin area. Sorry about that. But just to say, what I'm really fascinated by is you're doing a solo show in December.
Yes.
Called The Jungle Burke, which is a nice pun on the Jungle Book. And that's going to be on Thursday, December 3rd. Now, I'm guessing for you, absolute thrill, but also a certain amount of indigestion problems when you think about it.
Yeah, probably. it's a you know, there's two elements to it. One is I set the goal for myself maybe 18 months ago, and I had put a lot of work into a show that I basically, somebody else came along and did a similar show with the exact same title.
I think we could say that. Fucker Ross Carlos Kelly took your wonderful name, Breaking Dad, and you even have a dad that would fit into the whole system, and yet
I'd written the show.
There's
I was
Foxtrot
also doing
Swine.
I was doing an online kind of comic series. I
Yeah.
was drawing little cartoons and all. I had the show kind of ready to go, and I said I can do one of two things. I can repackage it and I can give it a different name, but I'd already advertised. And then I said, do you know what? Let's do it right. Let's clean slate it.
Yeah.
I'll come back to it when I feel it's ready. And, you know, I always write, so I kept chipping away anyway. And then, you know, I got the idea together, you know, a different approach to what I wanted to talk about. And it's, you know, it's about being a kid. It's about having kids. It's about, you know, I can never remember the important things that you're meant to remember from your childhood. I remember the silly stuff. And now I've gathered the silly
Whose
stuff.
Whose fault
into
is that?
yeah, exactly.
There was no serious stuff. It was all silly. That's why.
So I just said, you know what, let's give it a shot again. And the big challenge for me is I come in, I MC all the Hardy Har shows, but I often, you know, I don't do material as such. I chat to people. So it's always niggling there in the back of my mind, right, if I come into my own venue and I stand on the stage for a longer period of time, you know, if it is just me and if it is just the material I write, will I hold up with my audience? Because they're quite used to me now, you know. It's not customer and promoter anymore. It's friends there now. It's new friends.
Sure.
And will they go with it? Will they enjoy it? And, you know, can I market it locally as well? Can we have that kind of, you know, get this room packed out again, because we've packed this room out sometimes, and I'd love to pack it out for my own gig.
Sure,
you know, selfish as that is, I'd love to do it just once. And you know, not share the stage in the first half.
I should mention too that you organised the first Bray Comedy Festival, which was a huge amount of work and a great achievement. I think it was 25 comedians over. Was it some ridiculous number? I forget now. There was a lot
it was even more, to be honest with you. Yeah, no, definitely over 30, because we had 10 in the competition alone.
Right.
You know, the way I felt about it was Bray just deserved a comedy festival, and we didn't, you know, bat it out of the park. We always knew it was going to be, you know, a slow
first step thing.
Yeah, absolutely. We intend on building it again next year. We've more venues on board again straight away for 2016. It'll build and build and build, and you know, I'm setting myself the goal of 5-10 years time. I don't want it to be Bray mini comedy festival. I want it to be East Coast Comedy Festival. So everywhere from kind of, you know, South County Dublin right down to Wexford. Why not? You know what I mean? If you get people to invest the way you're invested, there's no reason why you can't do it. To
wrap it up, it'd be just nice to talk just a little bit about, I know that you mentioned before to me when we spoke to you about the fact that your influence is really, you know, that generation of Not the 9 O'Clock News, Rowan Atkinson, the young ones, the great Billy Connolly. You know, rather than, as often is the case, people will cite, and they are fantastic, the Richard Pryors and the Lenny Bruces and you know, George Carlin and all that. There is a kind of a natural thing that what you grew up laughing with is your soundtrack, and therefore it feeds your kind of comedy. I don't think there's many better than Billy Connolly anyway. But do you find yourself still kind of finding new comedians, or do you find yourself, I don't know, because of the line of work you're in, you inevitably see so much new stuff. It's not like you have to go looking anywhere.
Yeah, like you're always in touch with what's out there. You can always see what's kind of coming through. I feel like in this country that there's absolute abundance of talent, you know, that's undiscovered, and it's actually the Irish comedy scene, if you like, it is there for the taking, like, because you know, if you make the right noise and if you hit it the right way, like Al Porter recently, you can, you know, there's no stopping you, you know what I mean? But in regards to kind of influences and that, like, you're literally, and the fact that even people online now, people can go onto their YouTube channels and, you know, their Vines and all, and upload funny material. So it doesn't have to be about the seasoned pros, if you like. There's comedy kind of creeping in everywhere, and I think you can be influenced by all aspects of that. Like,
I suppose the very last thing is, it's a very lucrative business. So when do you hope to be a millionaire? Would you say? I don't know.
The 10th of never. It's the least lucrative business
2097, I think, was your plan. You
should just. But you know, if you're in it for the money, well, don't start with a free comedy club. You know what I mean?
Rock and roll. Well, listen, I look forward, as always, to the show on Thursday the 12th, but even more so your show on December 3rd. So yeah, thanks a million, and we'll catch you soon, man. Cheers.
Thanks.
Well, good luck to you too, sir.